Fantastic. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. Hope everybody watching on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, and on Roku with the Investor News Channel app is doing absolutely fantastic today. If you want to support the show, make sure to follow us on our socials and subscribe here on YouTube and hit the thumbs up if you have not done so already. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about price of Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about the major pairs. We're also going to be looking at our indices, our precious metals, as well as our foreign currency trades in the group. Give a quick update on what's going on in that zone as well. We're going to be talking about the Lightning Network. We're going to be giving you guys an update from the we're going to be giving you an update on the issue over in India between the Reserve Bank of India and cryptocurrency, them stifling fiat on-ramps to cryptocurrency. Obviously, we have individuals stationed over there, so we're going to be giving you an update live from the scene. We're also going to be taking your user-submitted questions and chart requests. So if you have a question or a chart request, please drop it in the chat. The moderators will bring it to my attention toward the end of the hour show. All right. So much to do. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. We've got a lot to cover and a lot of opportunity ahead of us still very, very early in this market cycle. So let's get right to the charts and let's break down Bitcoin today. Here we are in the live scene, actually on the hourly, which we are not normally want to do. Let's go over to the daily time frame. Seeing about a 4% correction from peak to trough on today's daily candle. And today is an interesting candle. I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 days now, not a continuation. Obviously, we have developed the continuation filter over here at Kraken Cryptocurrency. Now, one thing that we are looking for today is eventual continuation of this bullish movement. The question is, where are the areas where we should be interested? And you guys know that we do not put a lot of weight on horizontal levels of support and resistance, not on this channel, not with this trading strategy. However, here are the key dynamic areas that I'm currently paying attention to. Currently today is going to be signaling for a long continuation trade. Now, a little bit of a caveat for that though. Let me make sure I bring up my notes so I don't forget anything. Actually, before we start on the daily, we're coming close. This is Friday, so let's turn our attention actually over to the weekly here. Now, the weekly chart, if we just pause and look at the weekly chart before we really dive into the daily, we can see the macro bullish trend is well intact with long invalidation at 80.23 here on the weekly time frame. Which is good. This is very good to see. That number will be moving up at the close of the weekly. I expect that number will most likely be moving up to potentially the 82 to 84 region. That means that profit would be locked in a worst case scenario on the initial entry from the weekly signal over here, which we did get here at the first week of January, excuse me. And we talked about that on stream, the first such bullish signal that we have received since the final week of January, first week of February, back in 2019, sorry. And you guys know what happened after that. You can see it clearly on the chart. So the weekly looks very, very strong. And I would say overall, zooming out, especially if we throw on the logarithmic, this begins to look quite bullish and really lets us know where in the market cycle we are. So weekly is macro bullish, long invalidation at 80.23. Current take profit zone is between 10,200 and 11,600 currently. Now coming to the daily, giving us our more frequent signals and daily trading activity. I do expect the daily candle to close negative. It is a possibility that we get more of a pullback. In fact, I would like to see price intraday move up to the 93.80, 94.50 range. Although I would expect to see continuation of this for multiple factors. And today's sell-off is not a surprise. It is Friday. It is profit-taking day. Markets are on hold for the weekend. That doesn't mean that Fridays can't move up, but Fridays are also want and known for profit taking. We also have CME expiration today, and it's drawing near to us. It's going to occur at 2:59 to 3 p.m. my time. So we've got about a little under 3 hours before that occurs, and the January contract for the CME futures settles today. Daily, long invalidation at 90.99. Now, interestingly enough, 90.99, if we actually go over here, here we have the CME January futures contract right now. It is delayed, not closed. I got some interesting tweets saying that it closed in 15. I don't know where these guys are getting their information. But let's actually go and look at the continuous contract in front. Continuous contract in front. currently sitting at about 9,400. And again, we talked about this daily gap right here. We talked about this for a while. So as we kind of move lower, this really gives us the only objective area that I would be interested in to reposition. That stretches from 92.90 down to 90.60. And remember, with that long invalidation at 90.99, I would like to see reentries right around 9,100 to 9,000 on wicking basis. I don't want to see price close below 90.99 on the daily. That means I'm going to have to go ahead and take profit from my long trades and stay spot long. That won't invalidate my long positional trade, but it would invalidate my long swing trade, of course, which I've already taken profit on 50% and holding the remainder for higher prices until invalidation. Now, because we are moving into the weekend, here is what I overall expect moving forward. I do expect to see a movement to the upside today, the volatility of which I'm not certain about. Again, 93.80 to 94.50. I'd like to see price move up there. And since we are in a bullish macro trend, I wouldn't be, it's fine. It's expected. Again, I am long in multiple aspects. If price continues to rise and we're just, we're incredibly bullish, I do feel that a cool off is more likely, especially moving into the weekend, especially with January expiration occurring today. So I would expect price to close roughly where it is right now. And maybe after an upwards thrust, we can close a little bit higher, a little bit lower. That's totally fine. Expect price to mostly move to the downside for Saturday. However, sometime on Saturday, I would expect to see a more volatile thrust up. So it is possible that this movement that I would expect today would occur tomorrow. We typically get a high volatile bullish movement on Saturday, and it typically gets sold into as we move into Sunday evening and Monday morning. It's typically how this works. And then we'll kind of see the way that the market opens up on Monday. I wouldn't really be surprised to see that gap filled at this point in time. And so that is where I'm going to be looking this weekend to potentially be setting bids to get filled on wicks down to 9,000. Definitely want to bid at 9,000 to catch a wick if price should go down there. And then we'll see how the daily closes on Monday and Tuesday to really help us get a good feeling for the entry signal for the continuation long, which I'm absolutely looking for at this point in time. So I'm just holding my swing trade open, potentially setting bids to accommodate for the gap fill over the weekend, depending on Monday's close, actually, or, depending on Saturday's close. So the candle that opens up on Sunday, which would be the first trading candle of the week for the CME futures. Again, expecting a volatile movement either today or Saturday to the upside, and that being sold into as we move into Monday. Okay, so pretty simple for Bitcoin. Again, reentries are valid, but personally, I would want to wait for the weekend to wear its way off. I would rather do something on the lower time frames to take that volatile movement to the upside, whether you're doing PTP on the 1 hour. I think is probably going to be your best bet for catching that Saturday movement, depending on your indicator suite. Wadatar explosion is still above the dead zone, but threatening to close below the explosion level. Again, not unexpected. Minx is going to go ahead and give us the cross under, on today's daily candle. However, we did not peek our head up into overbought territory again on Minx on the daily. So definitely what is appearing to be a somewhat local top. A little bit of a pullback expected, but again, since we are macro bullish, I would expect Minx to kind of come down closer to the zero line and give us that continuation signal moving forward today. Other than that, it's a pretty easy, steady day in Bitcoin. I look over at my open ROI on my trades, and we did reach a peak yesterday at the heights of about 59% ROI on the group's open trades. Sorry about that. We did reach a peak yesterday of 59% open ROI on the group's open trades, my trades anyways. That's not accounting for senior analyst Alex or senior analyst Da Vinci's trades, which are aggregate to that as well. But just for my personal trades that I put on, we reached a peak of 59% ROI, and that's currently down at 49%. And that's totally fine. I'm absolutely happy with that. Long on Litecoin, long on Bitcoin and Ethereum, Nano, as well as my Forex trades as well. Yes. Yeah. Ended up opening an additional Forex trade last night as well. Posted that signal to the group. We'll go over the Forex currency trades here in just a little bit. But again, January's been exceedingly good to us, not only in cryptocurrency, but also in the foreign currency markets as well. So let's see here. We've got a lot. Let's keep it simple here. We covered the weekly. The weekly still looks very healthy. We covered the BTC CME futures. We'll take a closer look at that continuous contract again. There's the daily gap. There's the daily gap potentially to be filled. Going down to the hourly again, we can see that we have pulled down to the bottom of the range. Looking on lower time frames. I think a range scalp from here is not invalid. Again, as I said, expecting to see a movement up to potentially, and I'm talking about the ByBit prices right now, so 93.80 to 94.50 I would like to see before daily. And we can see that there's a bit of a premium. Price has settled somewhat at this bottom, and we are potentially seeing a swing failure pattern currently at this point in time. But in reality, you would want to wait until price closes above on the CME charts, 94.80 for that. So let's stop the confusion and let's go over here to, this is the Coinbase chart. So let's go to the ByBit chart here today. Let's go to the ByBit chart today. You would want to see an hourly close above 93.19 to be taking that to be swing failure pattern potentially. It'd be the setup that you're trying to trade to take that to 93.80, 94.50, which I think is valid at this point in time. Hourly and the 4 hour are actually going to be meso bearish right now. And so we are going to be trading reversion to the mean and basically longing the range bottom, which we are currently in. I wouldn't be overly enthusiastic about entering your swing positional trades right now, especially it being Friday, even though this is the local bottom of the range. I would expect to see a movement off of this, but I do think that we break this range bottom as we move into Saturday and especially into Sunday and Monday. I would expect to see a little bit more red, potentially one or two more down candles, let that gap get filled, and then we'll be looking for long continuations on the confirmed daily reentry signal. So overall good, a bullish bias still well intact. Pullback is taken. We'll see how far it goes down, whether we're going to have to take profits on our trades as the system requires, and then take a full reentry signal, or whether we'll pull down enough to take a valid scale in reentry signal and add to our positions because we are macro bullish, yeah, those are the two possibilities. Sorry. So pretty simple, steady as she goes. Happy day in the office. You know, moods are soaring. It's just pretty smooth. And I hope it's going well for you guys as well. It's really, you know, it's quite simple to make money in a bull market. You can essentially kind of go long on anything. You want to be careful about the USDT pairs, although there is a lot of opportunity there. You want to be really careful about going long on your BTC pairs, in my opinion. There's so much opportunity with just your large cap USD pairs or USDT pairs. That longing BTC, there's a profit factor differential when longing BTC pairs in a bull market. So I digress. Close today. CME futures close at 3 p.m. and we'll have some good data. 3 p.m. my time. Taking a look over at, let's go ahead and look at Ethereum as well today. Ethereum on the daily, a little bit more of a volatile pullback. Again, continuation filter firing off again here. And again, similarly, since I would rather wait for the gap fill on BTC, I think I would like to belay, unless I was going to do something intraday here and take the bottom of the range. Unless I was going to do something intraday on BTC, Ethereum might represent your opportunity to be speculating on continuation longs. Again, moving into this evening, in today's daily close. That's going to leave you kind of wide open to weekend volatility, and maybe you're okay with that. Again, the way that we trade, we are. But again, I would want to wait a little bit here for Ethereum as well. Nice pullback or nice correction back to the upside over the last few hours here, moving into Ethereum. Again, acting a little quicker and a little bit more pronounced than Bitcoin. But again, overall quite good. The only thing, again, over here, Ethereum as opposed to Bitcoin, the only thing that's different over here is that on Ethereum, we do have potential bullish divergence here on Minx, where we have our high over here, price action forming a higher high here, and Minx forming a lower high. And bearish divergence in Minx is pretty spot on. I'm not going to lie. When we talk about methods for catching tops and utilizing tops, I've talked about this at length, especially over the last few weeks. Overbought regions generally not going to do very well due to the parabolic nature of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in a bullish market. But bearish divergence, particularly with the correct momentum oscillator, and I think that one is Minx, does very well, serves a very good purpose. But again, we'll have confirmation of that if we get a daily close below 165.96. So Ethereum is still currently long and macro long, especially on the weekly time frame. With long invalidation currently on the daily, coming with a close below 171.52 and getting below 165.96. One could be actively looking for shorts, and that would be good. It would take, remember, it takes two daily candles to confirm divergence. 2 daily candles to confirm divergence on the daily time frame. It takes 2 candles on either side. to confirm divergence or swing highs. Going on 1 is going to be very aggressive and give you a higher rate of failure. Giving you 2 is going to give you, although it's going to take away a little bit from your profit factor, it is going to add to your profit factor overall because of reducing your drawdown and your probability of being wrong. So definitely wait. That confirmation will come on tomorrow's daily candle if we should get that, another down candle to the downside. XRP USD, I did the premium analysis on this last night for the group. Overall, pretty much steady as she goes. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at them though. Looking at XRP USD, XRP has been kind of this tricky mistress because we didn't get the continuation signal on yesterday's daily close, which was a good thing. Didn't take the long because it wasn't valid, wasn't signaled for. And we're back in that no trade zone. So XRP just being very choppy here with the baseline as it kind of proceeds on lowering volume, lowering momentum coming in here from, as we can see on Wada explosion. No rising explosion level, no consistent signals, on again, off again, very choppy. And so again, best decision here is to just stay out of XRP. Again, you can still be macro bullish on XRP. You do not have to have your XRP margin hedged at this point in time. You will if we get down below 23.11, and you'll be shorting below 22.83. But right now, it's just a market that I'm rather want to stay out of. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be excited if we get a daily close above 25, as will I. Most likely be looking for a long position on XRP at that point in time, because then we will have valid continuation. But right now, the chart is telling us to stay out of of XRP. Especially when Bitcoin and Ethereum, the larger caps, represent a better opportunity anyways. And EOS coming in as well over here, the other tradable asset on ByBit. Again, probably the most pronounced steep pullback, but that's also because of the overperformance, I think, of EOS to the upside. So the most significant profit taking that we're seeing here on EOS, again, with EOS as opposed to so similar to Ethereum, EOS is also going to potentially be giving us bearish divergence. But unlike XRP, the signals are clear, and similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, we are also getting valid continuation long signals, and we are macro bullish on EOS as well. So take that as you will. Again, in my opinion, the safest conservative move and the highest, the move that gives you the highest probability of success is to wait out the weekend. Do some if you're a trader who trades on Saturday, we've talked about the dangers of that before, but do some LTF scalping. That's fine. Keep your risk very, very low. If you're trading to the upside, you can have a little bit higher risk. If you're shorting, a little bit lower risk in my opinion, because you're trading against the dominant trend, regardless of what the daily candle has done. And wait until the conclusion of Saturday's daily close on Sunday evening, for me anyways, to be looking for your, re-entry positional trades. And even safer probably to wait until Monday's daily close or sometime intraday Monday if you're trading intraday. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look. Today is going to be a Friday, so we are going to be looking at traditional indices and foreign currency pairs. Actually, let's do that first. Let's do a recap for those following along with the group's foreign currency pairs. So the first trade is obviously going to be what is the deal here? Okay, sorry, just checking this against my open and live trades. So wonder why this is. Oh, because we're on the weekly. That's of course. So again, we talked about this one yesterday. In fact, I responded to Paul, who had shorted, I believe it was the pound dollar. Maybe it was the pound Aussie. Whereas I had longed the pound Kiwi. And again, I don't mean this in any way. Paul is doing absolutely fantastic and crushing it in Forex. Big shout out to you, my friend. Very proud of the progress that you've made. In this particular trade, we talked about the fundamentals playing a large part in this trade with the Bank of England announcement yesterday morning and that being posted on the Forex calendar. I speculated on this. We took the pound Kiwi to the upside on this daily close on the 29th. And then we've had a beautiful follow through. So I have taken 50% profit on this position currently. I have my stop loss at break even. On today's daily close, I will be setting a trailing stop loss to lock in a good chunk of this profit, the bulk of this daily candle, and a little bit of this current daily candle as well. This is a fantastic run up in Forex. This is a great movement in Forex. And I'm really, I'm really happy, obviously, to be in the trade. And I'm happy I got the group in it as well. So we took this trade at 2% risk. This is a very well-performing trade. So still long on the pound Kiwi. The Aussie CAD, interestingly enough, this is not a posted signal for the group, but just sharing my positions with you guys. I had set a limit buy on the Aussie CAD, which triggered last night, targeting the bottom of this range. So that buy triggered really right near the bottom of the wick, and obviously in a little bit of drawdown right now. But I back checked this because initially when it fired, I took a look at it and I was like, well, I wasn't sure that I had said it a few weeks ago, and my mentality had changed on the trade, but it filled, and then I back checked the current chart with my bottom feeder algorithm, and it was signaling for an entry there. So a good opportunity for me to it's a 1% risk trade as well. So it's a good opportunity for me to live trade my new bottom feeder strategy on the foreign currency markets as well. So pretty excited to do that. Again, not a trade that I published for the group because it's a personal trade of mine. With higher risk, it's a reversal trade. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Took the dollar yuan long, and really thinking about the fundamentals of this and looking at how Bitcoin has had its movement to the upside with the coronavirus fear and panic. I am kind of kicking myself that I didn't short the yuan earlier, that I didn't long the dollar against the yuan earlier. So ended up finally taking the continuation signal on the dollar yuan yesterday on yesterday's daily close. Had a little bit of drawdown, but we're finally getting the market movement. So again, I would be fundamentally bearish on the yuan until the Chinese stock market opens back up and we see a sign of strength. In fact, I would expect to see pronounced volatility to the upside here on the dollar yuan. And I would expect to still see a fairly steep market sell-off when the Chinese stock exchange actually opens up its doors. So I think there's a lot of legs left in the dollar yuan to the upside. That being said, today is not going to be signaling for continuation. I think that the risk was a little overextended. In fact, it was honestly a little overextended before I was entering into it. But the fundamentals are playing a large part in this trade for me. Again, you have to look at what's going on in the world. There's a big coronavirus fear. There's a big fundamental bullishness on Bitcoin because of capital flight from China. I don't think that you can ignore this. I think that people ignoring this are people that don't understand fundamentals of market economics. Really, market economics is the wrong word to use there. Fundamentals of fear and panic in human psychology and how they affect the markets. These opportunities don't come around all the time where you can see something clearly, and if you can spot trends and if you can predict how markets are likely to respond to real events happening live, then you can make yourself a tidy sum if you trade responsibly and reasonably with position sizing. However, long in the dollar yuan, and pretty confident about that one. Let's move on to the euro yen. I am still short on the euro yen. It looks like I will actually be closing my position on the euro yen today. I had entered on this daily candle right here to the short side with the continuation signal. Again, this is my best performing Forex trade of 2020. I did have a better trade than this back in 2019, but this is up there. I mean, this is definitely in, with its rapidity, with how long the trade has lasted. This is up there in one of my best trades of the last 3 years in Forex. And again, you trade in the right direction of the market, and the market does good things. 2% risk trade. So honestly, the first week of January, for myself as a trader, has really set me up for 2020. It set up my account, has set up my working trading capital for 2020, Not that that's been a concern for me for many years, but again, it's just put me in a good January's performance, particularly with Forex and particularly with cryptocurrency, has put me in a very good area where I can afford to invest in some areas that I wasn't sure I was going to wait on. For example, it's allowed me to fund some new development projects for the team, for the group, and the premium members are going to reap the benefits of this because I now have the excess capital to invest in new development for new systems and new projects and new products and services that we'll offer to our premium members that not only improve my life, but significantly their quality of life as well with their trading in cracking cryptocurrency. So really, really happy about that, honestly. Kiwi dollar, still short on the Kiwi dollar as well. You guys, my entry was on this candle right here on the continuation signal. So this one just continues to give. I don't really have words over here. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you're having losers in crypto and you're having winners in Forex, and sometimes it's the other way around. And then sometimes that magical combination happens where the market does everything you want it to and more over in Forex, and then everything you want it to do and more in cryptocurrency as well. I think the only Not every, it's not all beautiful in paradise. I'd say the only fly in the ointment is obviously, but this is good as well. It's not a fly in the ointment. The other thing about this as well is, as you guys know, I have a very, I have a significant dividend stock portfolio. That's what I use. I utilize that as a significant source of passive income. I've been investing in that for the last 10 years. And that is a good contributor to my monthly income and annual income overall as a passive form of investment. And obviously the stock market is declining. But again, as I talked about, I've been averaging into SDS and SH, more specifically SDS for its more capital control. That's the leverage 2x inverse fund for the S&P. So that's been covering quite a bit of the decline as well. Still obviously a net drawdown, but I've significantly hedged my dollar losses in the traditional market. So overall, feel good. Things are good. And now let's go ahead and take a look over at the SPY. Actually, let's start off with gold. Again, gold having a kind of similar movement here with Bitcoin. Not a steep drawdown. In fact, honestly, this kind of looks more similar to XRP and how it's gotten a little choppy over the last week or so. But again, gold still macro bullish on gold. I think that people selling gold short, not literally as in selling it short, but I mean as in selling its performance or ability to perform, are really selling it short. We're moving into some fundamental factors here on the planet Earth that we haven't seen here in a little bit. There's a lot of political instability, a lot of global uncertainty and economic uncertainty. And I think that hedging into gold is going to make sense pretty much at any price at this point in time. You cannot predict how volatile and far and long these bull markets can go. You just cannot. You can't do that. So anyways, we are currently in a no trade zone on Zao right now, looking at the contract for difference on a Wanda, currently trading at about 1584 and 43 cents. I would need to see a daily close above 1586.65 before I can begin looking for initial long signals. Wadatar explosion is confirming here with a new rising explosion level and a bullish candle. But and we're not above the dead zone again. On this chart, this dead zone's optimized for cryptocurrency, so we can kind of ignore that without tweaking it. But it's honestly, that dead zone's pretty good on just about every market that you want. It's just the average true range over a wide look back period and smooth to what I think is the optimized setting for most markets on the daily time frame. And we can see a lot of correlation between gold and Bitcoin, so there's not a huge deviation there. Let's take our above all major moving averages as well. Came down and kind of consolidated at the 13 daily exponential moving average, now broaching above the 8 and kind of doing well. But again, need a little bit more oomph, before I'm convinced that we're actually going to have a breakout of this, and that this isn't more of even though I hate chart patterns, let me put it in these terms, kind of an ascending channel pattern that will break down and see a more significant correction down to, like, say, the daily 55 EMA down at 1526, where I'd like to see some re-entry for sure. But right now, no trade zone. We'll see what Monday brings us. I think it would be predictive to view Friday as a profit-taking day on gold. Silver, a little bit more volatile movement to the upside. In fact, getting the exit signal on shorts. But again, silver's been a little choppy. Three nice daily candles to the upside. We are coming closer to the baseline. We have traded below the baseline. We traded below the baseline beginning with this candle right here. And it's pretty much been a volatile correction up, volatile correction down. And now I still don't think the market has chosen its new dominant direction here on silver. Nice correction, nice pullback, some good volume coming up, but I'm not thoroughly convinced. Again, I need to see price above the baseline, need to see price all the way actually at this point in time, because we flip my initiator to the downside, flip my initiator for shorts, I would actually have to be looking for shorts here on silver. Combined with the no trade zone on gold, I think that's a good fundamental factor for this. So we're coming up to the baseline. So kind of looking for a reversal baseline bounce at 1820, honestly, on silver. And that would be giving us our kind of initial profit area around 1763. So kind of a rejection from the attempt to reclaim resistance as support. I think we're going to reject from resistance and get that movement down to 1763. But again, if we get a nice rally and invalidate that trade by broaching above 1841, which is roughly where my stop loss would be, getting a daily close above 1841 would have us looking for full-fledged swing trades here on gold. And we did get the Wadatar explosion, rising explosion level trade to the downside. That was a big volatile movement. That was actually a no trade candle. We wouldn't have taken that below the qualifier. We haven't gotten the confirmation for a retrade entry, although we did get the short. What's beautiful about the baseline indicator that I coded for the premium members is you can see there's a no trade. This is signaling for a long. It's a no trade. And then this is giving you the trade signal. And you could combine that with the reversal baseline bounce strategy, which we teach. That was one of the most latest modules for Pathways to Profit course that we teach. And you could have captured this kind of on a scalp trade to the downside, but that would have been a beautiful, beautiful scalp trade. Not even a scalp, something that starts off as a scalp, as a reversal baseline bounce and turns into like a whoa baby kind of trade. And sometimes you have those. So anyways, I think it's pretty clear on silver. No, looking for a reversal baseline bounce. Otherwise, looking for a little bit more bullish momentum. Palladium's in a no trade zone for me. Hold on. Sorry. Let me be a little bit more clear about that. Palladium is not in a no trade zone for me. Palladium is in short zone for me. Sorry. I had the exponential moving averages on there, and it made me think that the candle was, that the candle color was yellow. Now, not only did we close below the baseline here with a very weak rally back up to the upside, and interestingly enough, again, no trade signal on this candle, and these candles telling us that we can go ahead and take that short signal that was signaled. But we haven't cracked the initiator yet, but we will on today's daily close. Yes, today's daily close will be flipping the initiator to the short side. So we now need to see Palladium rally above 2420 to be looking for longs, and we have purple dot short continuation on today's daily candle. So Palladium is a short. And looking at Platinum's a little too overextended to be looking for the short. We did have short continuation. We had purple dot continuation yesterday. Finally, the first day that we saw that, we had initial short initiation on Platinum over here. Had some very good follow through on that. In fact, this current candle today hitting take profit 1 on that Platinum short as signaled by PTP. Not an active trade that I took, but just telling you guys how it is. Let's see here. Initial short signal here. And we didn't get the reentry signal until yesterday's daily candle. You guys can see the purple dot right there. And yeah, you would have been waking up to some nice profits. Rising explosion level yesterday to the downside on WADA for yesterday's daily close as well. So Platinum's still a strong short, extended right now. So I don't think it's safe to get into this trade. Need to see a pullback closer to 989 for a reentry into the short over here. And looking at Rhodium by request, if you guys want to see a parabolic market, by the way, we haven't looked at Rhodium too much, but if you guys want to see a parabolic market, this is Rhodium over the last 2 years, really over the last 3 years. It's up over 1,000%. Up over 1,000% in the last 2 years, and still pumping. Now, interestingly enough, I actually do think that this might represent a local market top on Rhodium. The reason why is because we have an extended movement to the upside. And what does this look like? This looks like a blow off top. This looks like a blow off top to me in Rhodium, right? And it's, again, I don't like doing this. I don't like calling market tops, but I'm looking at the deviation from the baseline. We have not seen this in a while. And the strength of this movement to the upside, combined with the bear wicks, combined with the blow off top on Water Explosion, I do feel fairly confident that this represents, at least locally, a market top on Rhodium. We might move up a little bit higher, but I think that profit taking on Rhodium here makes a lot of sense. I do see a correction all the way from this 830 level down to around 600, if not 500. S&P 500, looking over at the daily. As I said, S&P 500 continues to tumble. You did get purple dot continuation on these 3 candles right here. So you could have re-entered into your S&P short. Again, we can go down and look at the E-minis as well. E-mini contract would have been similar. E-minis are moving with a little bit less volatility. The SPY is a little bit, the ETF is moving a little bit more suitably, sustainably here, easier to trade the SPY rather than the E-minis right now, and generally are when you're looking for trending movements. If you're looking to intraday trade, you typically want to be on the E-minis. You're not typically doing swing trading on the E-mini futures, but you can. Again, I have. So anyways, SPY over here, pretty stable, continued movement to the downside, renewed rising explosion level on Water Explosion. So definitely, I wouldn't be, for the average retail trader out there, I'm not going to be recommending that you short sell the S&P or the, or the SPY, or trying to short the ETF. Good luck. Or going on the E-minis and shorting it. I would just recommend that you stock up on SH, right? Just buy the inverse ETF. Right? You can either go, full risk, which means you sell your S&P shares and go into the short, which is the same thing as shorting, because have no long exposure, or you can just hedge and wait out the market volatility. Because I'm still fundamentally bullish on traditional assets. I'd like, if we see a 30, if we see a 10, 8 to 10% pullback, great, I'm going to buy more. If we see a 20 to 30% pullback, great, I'm going to buy more. I've been buying stocks for the last 10 years. I'm not going to stop now. Dow Jones similarly in a very short position, very overextended, very significant down move today in the market, continuation over the last 2 days. So could have caught this movement as well with pathways to profit, and the NQ as well, rather than looking at the actual NASDAQ composite. Kind of choppy. You would have potentially, again, E-mini is not doing very well here, but the ETF's actually doing pretty well and the composite's doing pretty well. AMD by request. AMD is actually giving a continuation short signal on today's daily candle, and General Electric is experiencing a pullback, but I am so bullish on General Electric right now. Like, I don't even have words for this. I don't even have words for how bullish I am on General Electric. I loaded my General Electric bags over the last 18 months, and I am ready to go, baby. I'm ready to go. Whew. It's 12:40, man. That was a lot of analysis. Okay. Let's get into today's giveaways, guys. We've got a lot to do. I want to thank today's crypto comments giveaway sponsor, Spectre Security Coin. Privacy and security is absolutely essential in the space, guys. If you would like to know that your security practices are following industry best practice, and you want an expert to sit down and explain this stuff to you, help you out, definitely go see my friends over at spectresecurity.io. They're more than happy to sit down, do a one-on-one security consultation with you, make sure that you're using your VPN correctly, that you're storing your passwords correctly, that you know how to properly set up a wallet and store your private keys, that you know how to utilize cold storage. This is what these guys are good at. Tell them Justin sent you. There is a link down in the description if you are interested. And I want to thank them for sponsoring today's crypto comment giveaway, where we give away 8,000 XSPC every single day, utilizing YouTube. And we're going to randomly pick a winner on yesterday's video. And I hope it's not that one spam comment that I just deleted before the show, but still showing up as a comment. Come on, baby. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. It's going to do me like that. We're going to get there, guys. Don't worry. Promise. It was Lefty. There we go. Lefty, thank you so much for your comment, my friend. He says, amazing as always. Thank you, guys. Thank you, my friend, for the support, for the comment. You know the drill. I believe you've won before. Get a hold of me in the Discord, link in the description. I will gladly tip you some crypto. You can message me or our concierge bot. And or you can join Spectre's Discord. The link's in our Discord channel, and I can tip you directly in their bot spam channel. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. All right, I want to get into today's crypto currently, and I've got a lot to talk about. But before we do that, on the topic of comments on the YouTube, I want to look at yesterday's video here, and I just wanted to, thank you and point out Justin Fay's comment over here. And I get asked by some individuals, like, I have a lot going on, right? I run several companies full time. I trade full time. I'm a single father. And I still find time to work on myself, personal development, work out, and do things that I like. So I'm a pretty busy guy. And people ask me why I do the show. Why do I do the daily live stream? Why do I take, several hours out of my day, Monday through Friday, to do a YouTube show when I don't need to? And I have a lot of answers for that question, but comments like this is really why I do the show. This comment that we received yesterday really cuts to the heart of why I love doing this job, why I love doing this show. So Justin Fay on yesterday's show, he commented, I love your honesty. The signal changed to bearish. It was wrong, but you made the right call. Now trend towards the upside. I learned this from your channel, and due to that, it's the first time in multiple years that my risk being managed, I haven't made a loss. I'm not a premium member, but I've learned more from your channel than any other resource on trading. Thanks for all you have taught me. My overall account is profitable. Thanks to watching your public videos. I'm following the trend. This is what you have shown. Thank you. And I don't have words, man. Thank you. Thank you. That was I saw a lot of friends and family and people that I respect and love lose money in 2018. A lot of money to them. I have friends that I have people that I know that invested 6 figures or more into cryptocurrency in December 2017, January through March of 2018. And I had to watch them go through 2018 not knowing what to do. And that's why we started doing this channel. We were doing it before then, but that's when we got really serious about the group. That's when we got really serious about the YouTube. That's when we got really serious about what we do, because I don't want to watch more people that I love and respect make that same mistake. And we're on that precipice again. We're like 25% of the way there. We've got so much more room to go in Bitcoin. And I want people to enjoy this ride, people who don't think there's an opportunity for them out there, who don't want to work a 9 to 5, who don't want to get scammed by college, who want to do something with their lives and can harness this amazing opportunity to improve their lives and do it the right way. And I'm very, very humble that I can do that for some people. So thank you. Thank you, Justin, and thank you to all of you guys who continue to come and support the show and make it extremely worth it and worthwhile. It's a huge positive factor in my life, and I have you guys to thank for that. So thank you. Okay, with that being said, let's get into today's Crypto Currently episode and break down the current events. Let's go. Now, our first story comes from Decrypt.co and the developer known as Zap, known for its work on the Bitcoin Lightning Network, has released a new app called Strike, which sets out to make it even easier for anyone to use Lightning. Now, the app will allow customers to make payments on Lightning using a debit card or bank account. Now, the Lightning Network remains experimental, as well as complex to interact with, and non-custodial wallets require setting up more of a dedicated and specialized Lightning node. With the barrier to entry currently being fairly high on utilizing Lightning, adoption has struggled to gain traction in recent years. Now, Zap is hoping that by dealing with the complicated Lightning details on the back end, it can encourage greater adoption, spurring more transactional use for Bitcoin. A Zap founder, Jack Mallers, announced Strike in a Medium post yesterday. Let's actually find that. Here it is right here. I like a Medium post to start off with, yo. And he says, today we are announcing Strike, an application that allows you to make Lightning payments with your bank account or debit card. Adding, it's down here somewhere. Adding, it's an application sitting on top of our infrastructure piece, Olympus, designed to usher in an era of Bitcoin that we believe has the best shot of achieving our mainstream hopes and desires. Now, what the Strike app will allow users to do is attach their bank account or debit card to the app, similar to how PayPal functions. So from here, you can use the app to pay for Lightning-enabled invoices directly, all while remaining incredibly simple and intuitive to set up, especially in comparison to setting up a Lightning node or managing your own payment channel. Now, this means that Strike can be used to buy or sell Bitcoin on the Lightning Network, performed by generating a purchasing invoice and paying for it with Strike, or vice versa, as well as for remittance payments by easily shared QR codes or as a convenient means of internet tipping. You can literally use this for anything you want. Now, in order to deliver all the advantages of Lightning, such as cheap and instant Bitcoin micropayments while eliminating the drawbacks, Zap has had to make trade-offs. This comes down to kind of the blockchain trilemma, but they've made trade-offs. Unlike non-custodial Bitcoin wallets where users control the keys to their own Bitcoin, all of the funds will be held by Zap themselves as an intermediary, similar again to how PayPal and every other exchange functions. Now, except for decentralized exchanges, of course. Now, as such, Zap will effectively function as a custodial service. It's going to be responsible for running and operating the necessary Bitcoin Lightning infrastructure, and it will be processing all of the transactions and complete Lightning Network payments on behalf of the app's users. All the app user does is authenticate their payment network, which is secure on their own end, and utilize the app. Now, the difference between how Strike functions and how a typical bank completes a transaction is that the payment or transfers made happen in the background over the Lightning Network rather than through traditional wire transfers or banking networks. This is what allows you to have instantaneous settlement. Apps such as Zap Strike can help boost adoption and use of the Lightning Network. However, some are going to object to their centralized custodial approach to payment processing in the crypto space. Now, while that is true, more sophisticated users who wish to claim more complete control over their assets can just as easily enough move and manage their Bitcoin in private wallets as required or run their own Lightning node. That's likely going to be the future of forward-facing consumer-friendly solutions in the space, that to have these, they're going to come at the cost of decentralization, but ultimately will operate in parallel with Bitcoin's fundamental features of permissionlessness and censorship resistance. So to make that very clear, what Zap has created here with Strike is very similar to the same function that everybody utilizes every day, and that's going to be a centralized exchange. The beauty of Bitcoin, in my opinion, is that we can stand to have alternatives. Okay. We just have seen, I think that Peter Schiff brings to highlight a very good point. And I've had time to think about this a lot. Now, again, the reason why I purchased Bitcoin in the first place all the way back in 2016 was to have censorship resistant, permissionless, unconfiscatable funds. That's why I hold my cold storage that's why I hold my funds, the majority in cold storage, except for what I'm actively trading on exchanges. And there's a huge difference between my trading account and my investment portfolio. I invest in Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin that isn't touched, hasn't been touched. Now, the reality here is my grandmother is not going to be able to run a full node. It's not going to happen. She doesn't even know how to do email. Nor is she going to be able to set up a Lightning node. So, in her case, somebody who isn't putting a lot of money into the system anyways, into Bitcoin anyways, Coinbase is probably her best bet. You know, and we're moving into an era where these, particular exchanges, things like Coinbase, are not Mt. Gox, right? They're not Mt. Gox. They're not Binance. So there is something to say for that. And the reality here is that Bitcoin itself, the underlying protocol, is permissionless, censorship resistant, and you can instantly just say, hey, you know, I'm going to go set up my own cold storage, run my own full node, do Lightning. I'll do all that. I'm ready to make the transition to power user. And specifically, we're talking about a more centralized model, a centralized model to allow individuals to allow an opportunity for mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency and Lightning node usage, which is what we need and what we want. And the reality is, remember how Lightning channels work. The point of Lightning, it's to allow you to do instantaneous payment. So we're not talking about holding your entire Bitcoin stack on this. We're talking about your checking account, a couple $100 for the most part, for most people, so that they can easily do micropayments and day-to-day transactions. And again, I think the next step from here is an easy bridge, although it's ridiculously simple for a Ledger Nano X or some other cold storage wallet. So you go to Coinbase, you purchase your funds, you either hold them on Coinbase or you pull them into your Ledger Nano X. And when you need to top up your wallet, your Lightning wallet on your mobile phone, it's just as simple as a click. So I think, although there's a big part of me that wants to be like, centralized. I mean, come on, man. Read the tea leaves. You know, we're not going to get more mainstream adoption unless we have very simple, easy to use options. And all of these things that come with full decentralization will come. Again, the key point here is choices and options. And I am down for giving people choices and options, especially if it make number go up. And last time I heard, more market participants equal number go up. So let me know what you guys think about that. I want to give you guys an update on the India situation as well. Now, that's not the right page. So previously this week, we covered the situation going on over in India concerning India's central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, and their ban on fiat gateways into cryptocurrency. Now, we have an inside update on the situation after speaking with senior analyst Da Vinci, who is currently stationed over in India. Now, he says that after the RBI banned the use of banking channels to facilitate the buying and selling of Bitcoin, according to him, the RBI claims that after they banned the use of cryptocurrency, the use of fiat to allow buying and selling of Bitcoin, Bitcoin had a sharp decline in price, clearly implying that the RBI's decision had a significant impact on Bitcoin's price and thus investor sentiment. Now, this could be used as justification for their decision to ban access to the use of their currency for such a volatile cryptocurrency. When one nation's banking decisions impact price so dramatically, you could see how that decision could work in their favor. But in response to this, the Supreme Court judge replied in favor of Bitcoin, stating that Bitcoin has its own supply and demand economics outside of India and the RBI's decision. Sure, the RBI's decision could have played a factor, but it certainly was not the only factor, and disputed the impact, stating that, quote, Bitcoin was in business before the RBI got into it. So on a very positive note, this goes to show how well-informed Supreme Court judges in India are on the topic of cryptocurrency. Contrast to the judicial authorities we see in other countries. Now, the judges also pointed out that it is nearly impossible to hack into blockchain based on current technology. They correctly pointed out that a malicious actor would have to gain more than 51% of the hash rate to attack the Bitcoin network. They pointed out that any hacker would realize that it's far more profitable to mine honestly without trying to achieve a double spend attack, because the remaining miners will simply block that node permanently. Reorg the chain anyways. Now, I'm very excited. We on the team are very excited to hear what the upcoming judgment is going to be from the Supreme Court. And we are hoping and faithful that the judges will make the right decision and remove the ban. There are so many individuals in India who are excited about cryptocurrency, and investors with deep pockets who have stayed away from Bitcoin due to the RBI's decision. Our reversal in favor of Bitcoin is extremely bullish for Bitcoin, in my opinion, and a strong fundamental to watch for in the market. Now, on this topic, I do want to thank Crypto Canoon over on Twitter for helping keep the community up to date on the latest development in the RBI's case. Make sure to check him and Senior Analyst Da Vinci out on Twitter. Now, we're drawing to the close of the hour here, and I want to get into your questions and answers. But before we do that, I would like to hear I'd like to see what the weather is, right? So I'd like to check in with Junior Analyst Midwest Attempts to see what's going on in the market today, to get his take on things. So we're going to go check in here real quick. Let's see. Midwest, are you there? Okay, what do you got for us today?
Oh, well, Justin, as you can see, I'm still sitting comfortably in my long. I haven't had time to check the charts yet, but just give me 1 second. Okay, let's see here. Okay, well, it seems as though, in the big trading world, things do go south and they do go north. They go both ways. But at the same time, what I gotta say is, let's get rid of this long and get into our shorts, baby. Because guess what? It's summer out there in Bitcoin City. Get your shorts on. And don't be flip-flopping around. This trend's your friend. Back to you.
Fascinating take, Midwest. Fascinating take. Appreciate it, my friend. Let's not be too hasty, but I see where you're going with that, man. And I know you're killing it lately, so cheers to you, brother. All right, let's see what you guys got in the Q&A section. The first question is from Boris Bitcoin. He says, hey, Justin, can you check out the Euro Kiwi? Long since 168.39. I've taken 50% profit at target 1 and some at TP2, letting the rest ride right now. Let's take a look. Well, pretty sure that it's going to be similar to my Euro CAD and Pound Kiwi. But let's look at the daily. Yeah, Euro Kiwi having kind of the same movement as my Euro CAD trade. And the Pound Kiwi as well. So great currency parity, BN. You said you were long since 168.39. So yeah, you're kind of sitting in the same spot as me. Did you say 168.39? You dog, you. Oh, you're a beautiful man. Yeah, good trade, man. Good trade. Loving it. Yeah, let that thing ride, man. TP1, TP2. Now, we've moved quite a bit since then. So what I would do on today's daily close, well, you know, and you have to remember that the daily is going to close. And you won't be able to do anything until the week, until Sunday evening. So I would set a trailing stop. That's what I'm going to be doing on my pound Kiwi trade. Yeah, I'm going to be, because we can go over here and look. Pound Kiwi looking almost identical. So I would be setting a trailing stop loss, and I would either be setting a trailing stop loss. Let's see if we can get Drigo up at this point in time. I submitted my second support ticket to TradingView today because of the error with V4 plotting. So if you guys are out there who are pine coding, if you are noticing an issue with your indicators that are using V4 line drawing and label drawing, and you're noticing an issue with the indicators loading on the chart, specifically the lines and labels, please open a support ticket with TradingView, because this is affecting the quality of my life. And as a community, we can do it together. So if I do historical, right? If I do historical, it wants to be all, aha. So yeah, I would be setting a trailing stop loss at 169.819 at this point in time, roughly around there. We could call it, 170 if we didn't want to split hairs. So setting a trailing stop somewhere around 170, I think is a fantastic movement at this point in time. Lock in that profit and kind of look for that next, for me in these kind of situations, I expect further price movement. So I would be saying, okay, well, we'll check and kind of look around 175, 174.50 to be looking to take maybe the last of our profits off. But in this situation, I always wait for an exit signal. I always want to wait for an exit signal, or my trailing stop loss to get it, whichever happens first, right? And you've got Minx, which is a really good exit signal. So we can see how kind of overbought we can get here on the Euro Kiwi. Keep in mind, we're coming out of consolidation, so we're going to go overbought very quickly. So this is another nuance of OBOS, not the first overbought signal coming out of consolidation. Price pulls back, the second overbought signal, or bearish divergence. Bearish divergence. All right. Let's see here. It's Hard has requests for Algo and XMR USD. Algo actually looks pretty healthy on the daily. Algo actually looks pretty healthy on the daily. Not above the dead zone, not a rising explosion level. I've seen a lot of particularly USDT pairs that I was interested in entering long onto, but I am skewed heavily to the long side right now. And just, I'm kind of more interested in just adding to Bitcoin. It's generally more profitable for me, instead of diversifying, to just focus on what's the bellwether of the market, and add to my leverage position as we kind of move up, and look for always looking for continuation signals. But that doesn't mean that I will also, like, for example, Litecoin. I put a large position in Litecoin, USDT, and that moved up and up like 15% on that right now. So Algo USD looks good. Yeah, Minx is bullish on this. We're not overbought. There's no divergence. We're above the baseline. We had the continuation signal yesterday. Actually, we had the continuation signal yesterday. So you could potentially look at this. Again, this is not the strongest signal. We don't have full confirmation. I do quite like Algo. I'm not going to lie. Not only did I get to sit down with Silvio Macaulay. If you guys haven't seen that, Crypto Currently, there's an interview with the founder of Algorand down in the Crypto Currently playlist. But it's also a pretty good full-bodied blockchain. It's a good project with a good dev team. I like Algo. I like Algo fundamentally. The weekly looks quite healthy. The weekly looks good. We can see this kind of accumulation range. We can see this as well on kind of a lot of things, honestly. So the altcoins are beginning to look exciting and attractive. I'm not going to lie. So I think that re-entry here is valid. For me, I would do half risk on this one because we don't have a full-bodied signal, and because of where I'm at with my overall risk profile. XMR USD a little bit stronger in my opinion. It's a bigger dog, something bigger to trade. We'll go over ahead and look on Bitfinex here for XMR USD, get some cleaner numbers. Again, this looks very similar to the other major dollar pairs. Nice kind of, a little less volatility from XMR, a little less straight bullish growth, a little bit more a little bit more pullback, a little bit more contained. But this does kind of look like your classic, SR flip. We are pulling back to previous resistance, kind of testing it for support. We are getting long continuation on today's daily candle. Again, personally, I would wait until Sunday evening and see what the signal looks like either on Sunday's close, which is going to occur on Monday night, or Saturday's close, which occurs on Sunday night, to kind of look for that better optimum entry price and look for continuation there. But that's not to say it's not valid. Again, half risk on this one as well, similar to a reversal baseline bounce. Copenhagen says, what are my thoughts on the weekly and monthly gold charts? Incredibly bullish. I'm not even going to look at them. I'm running out of time, but I'm sorry, but incredibly bullish. We can break those down a little bit more maybe on Monday. And Wendy 2 says, because no offense to you, my brother, but it just take me. I could talk about the monthly and weekly gold chart for a couple hours, so I'm not going to fall into that trap. I love you though, man. Ask me on Monday, and I'll schedule that for Monday. We'll look at the monthly and the weekly on Zao when we open up the week. Wendy asked, where would I set some resting orders for GE? I've taken profits the other day. Not really the way that I trade stocks. Not really my personal strategy with GE. I mean, obviously the area that stands out to me as an area of interest is going to be right at the baseline. So coming in right around $12. So looking for kind of another 50 cent correction to the downside here on GE. Kind of another very similar support and resistance flip right here, looking for that support to hold. Personally on GE, I'd like to see the pullback all the way, not speculate on how far it's going to go. Again, just my personal preference here on GE, and then just buy it when I get the next trending signal, right? But I'm not trading GE. I've invested in GE. I'm going to be holding GE for a long time. So, but as far as trading it, I'd be looking down around $12. Or again, waiting for price to pull back, whether it's $12 or maybe a little bit lower, maybe even violate the baseline at this point in time, fill that gap, that big gap right there, and then take the next trending signal to the upside when we reclaim the baseline and get bullish again. Or I kind of wait for the reentry signal. We'd got overbought on Minx right here on the previous candle. Overbought is a lot better on stocks than it is in cryptocurrency because of the nature of stocks. That's different markets. They move differently. Minx works very well overbought and oversold on stocks. So we can see that we've reached overbought and we've come down from overbought. So good profit taking area. Wait for that kind of noise line cross under, and then wait for that reentry signal, whether that comes from water or whether that comes from Minx or whatever your initiator is or your continuation signal is. Yep, I see that, brother. All right, so we're also going to open the chest for D-Live over here because we forgot them yesterday. So I didn't double it up. I didn't triple it up. 10x'd it, baby. A 10x'd it. So we're going to give away 10 times the amount of lemons that we normally get. So distributing 500 lemons right now for you, my brother. Says no winners this time. What? I don't understand. Said no winners. That's weird. Maybe we didn't have any action over on D-Live today? That doesn't make sense. Let me try it again. Oh, shoot, I pressed that button. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to press that button. All right, here we go. We're trying again. Sorry, this giveaway is too close to your last one. Please wait and try again later. Okay. Well, we'll give it a few seconds over here. So, what are you guys' plans for the weekend? Any, Anybody going to be in the Midwest area? We can go get some steak. I'm trying, guys. I really am. I really am trying my hardest. It's Craig Wright on 3 accounts hitting dislike. Well, I'll tell you guys what I'll do. We'll play the... I'll give you guys another sneak peek. I know we played it earlier in this week, but for those of you guys who missed it, we're going to play the upcoming promotional video for the baseline indicator. It's a little less than a minute long. And once I come back, and once we come back from that, we'll try to distribute these rewards away. We'll try again to distribute these DLive rewards. So if you guys are over there on DLive, I think the reason why there were no winners, it doesn't seem like we've had a lot of activity over here. So if you guys want to get on there and chat it up real quick and get a little bit of skin in the game, so you guys can take advantage of this 500 DLive giveaway, we'll do that. So we're gonna play the baseline video here real quick, and we'll be right back. All right, we'll give this one more shot, okay? You guys lit it up over there on DLive. Thank you. Hey, Peckham27, you're the man, my brother. I love you. Wayne Arndt, you're the best too. Rhino, Ron Legato, you guys are awesome. All right, let's try this. Oh, come on. It says it's too close to my last giveaway. Try again later. Oh, no. What's the time? Oh, come on. I thought you were going to do it that time. Maybe if I just keep clicking it, I can force it through. I'm looking at the help article right now. It doesn't say what the doesn't say what the timeout time is. You didn't miss the chest. I'm trying to give the chest away, brother. Help me, baby Jesus. Okay, so help me, Oprah Winfrey. All right, so here's what we'll do. We will give away 1,000 lemons on Monday. So make sure to have your browsers open to DLive. Watch us at dlive.krakencryptocurrency.com or dlive.tv/krakencrypto. And we'll give away 1,000 lemons on Monday. So guys, get jacked up, get pumped for that. Let's do this. We're also going to be giving away, let's do this over in the big scene. Let's do this. All right, so make sure to hop on DLive on Monday, and we will distribute 1,000 lemons to you guys. Happy to do that. More than happy to do that. We're also going to be announcing a new giveaway on Monday. It did it again. It showed the socials. Sorry about that. I got to figure out why that does that. Oh, because I didn't turn it off. Right, I got to turn it off. Okay, we'll try that again. All right. What? I promise I'll get this streaming software figured out one of these days. I'll get it figured out one of these days, guys. Making my YouTube editor was watching the stream right now and ready to throw an ice pick at me because I'm causing him a lot of work. Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It is going into the weekend, so keep your risk low and wait until Sunday evening to be looking for these kind of long positional or swing trade re-entries to the upside, in my opinion. Of course, review your own system, take all your trades, buy your own system, and always manage your risk and trade responsibly and conservatively, guys. We've got such a good opportunity in front of us. Now is not the time, as I said last night on my premium market update, to be making improper trading decisions, over risking, over leveraging, and giving those gains back to the market. We want to take from the market, not give. We're here to take, not give. Unlike on this channel, where we're typically here to give a whole lot of good advice and sound counsel and take a like or a subscribe, which, by the way, if you have not done so already, if you want to support what we do, you can follow us on our socials. We're posting a lot more on Twitter and Instagram now. It's pretty fun for you guys. And like and subscribe here on YouTube if you have not already, so you never miss an episode. And make sure to join us on DLive Monday to take advantage of that giveaway. Links are down in the description for everything that you could possibly need. I have been told by scientists to survive in life, especially in this particular market. My name is Justin Wise. This is Breaking Bitcoin. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Make sure, as always, spend time on your system, spend time on your back testing, spend time on building what you're going to have with you in the market, which is your trading strategy that will be your bellwether, that will be your guide through all market cycles, through all market conditions. And if you take the time to build it properly, will do nothing but return capital to you over your trading career. But also make sure to schedule some time in there to spend time with your friends and family. All right. They're what matter the most. I will see you guys on Monday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, as always, for the next episode of Breaking Bitcoin. We've got some fantastic bits coming out this weekend, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel for that as well. Be excellent to one another and trade safely.